Hi Jim, this is the flow updated. So first thing I want to point out is that I was able to get the record ID dynamically instead of hard-coded. So just going to click into this. And I did this by using Sockwell to query for the developer name. And this is much more accurate now, so it works. Another thing that was updated is added the fields for account ID and contact ID. So we'll just go ahead and debug this now because mostly nothing else changed other than that. All right, letting it load. Okay, and just going to add some test values in here. So this I know looks odd with all the Smiths in there, and we'll talk about that in just a second. And as you can see, it has the default account owner and a default for 100 status code. I'll just go ahead and push next. And everything should run through without any errors. Give it a moment. There we go. Excellent. That's all good. I'm going to walk over here to the accounts list view, and you'll see there's a button added here like we talked about. Another thing, as I spoke about before, are all these Smiths. So Smith was the original record I created with the first run with the first version. And for some reason now, every time I create a new version and debug it, it makes a copy or a replica of this very first record. Not really sure what's going on with that, but I'll talk about later what I'm doing to work on resolving it. So we'll go ahead and come over here to the button and test it out. Give it a moment. Let's see. There it goes. All right. Sorry, I had to pause there for a second. I hadn't activated my most recent version. But here you can see it looks very similar to the debug. And we'll just go ahead and put in some test values like we did before. Have all those Smiths there. All right, I'm just going to show you that here, if we wanted to change the account owner, we could. And also with the status code, we could change that as well. And with the case owner. Right. Now we are going to run into a problem here that I've already seen. So as you can see, it says next, and even though this is a one-screen component, it should say finish actually, because we're not going to move on to another screen. And what's going to happen is it's going to duplicate the page that we just had with blank fields. And this is the problem I've been running into, even though it debugged without any errors and it should work. And if you move back over into accounts and we look at all accounts, and our most recent right here, you'll see another Smith was created, but or maybe that was previous when we debugged, but the account with the values we just gave was not created. So when looking into this, I actually found someone with a very similar issue right here. Although when she had this problem, she was given an error. And the strange thing about when I'm having this problem is I don't receive any errors from the org. But she received a duplicate screen after navigating away from the following screen, but with blank values like I did. And the advice she was given is that this is because she's referencing a user field, which I also reference the user field, but I reference it in the lookup component where the record ID is given for a default value. So I thought possibly this could be the same problem that I am having. So if we go back to the flow, I'll show you where this is. So we go down to the lookup component for account owner, and this is also true for case owner. I use the user ID for the default value here. So we'll just run it again without these values. And of course, it'll make us save a new version. And I know from this, it will debug without any errors, so we're just going to go ahead and activate it and come back to the button on accounts, and we'll refresh the screen. Give it some time. Click on this button here. Right, and put in our test values again. And of course, the unfortunate thing about this is if this were the solution, it's not a solution we would want, of course, because we want to have that default value so that our users would not be sitting there having to type in their name with every single case and account. So all right. But the problem is that this does not resolve the issue, unfortunately. So again, I went ahead to the community page on Trailhead and I posted about this issue, explaining the problem and talking about how this other person already resolved it. And I added a tidbit about the Smith issue with the reproduction of the original record creation with every debug, in case that's involved in it at all. So hopefully I'll hear back from someone and I'll check on it Monday right when I start up. So I'll let you know. Thank you so much and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.